Welcome to Research Hub. Summarize a research paper effectively without repeating information and highlight the research's impact. Make sure to pay attention to the common mistakes to steer clear of while watching this guide. Crafting a conclusion for your research paper might pose a challenge. It is important for the concluding paragraphs to be concise and effectively recap the key points without being repetitive. A well-written conclusion can also enhance the overall impact of your research paper. In this video, we will cover the definition of a conclusion, the significance of a strong conclusion, techniques for crafting a conclusion for your research paper, advice and typical mistakes to steer clear of while composing one, a sample conclusion, and frequently asked questions about conclusions. So, first, what is a conclusion? A conclusion is the final paragraph of a research paper and serves to help the reader understand why your research should matter to them. The conclusion of a conclusion should: 1. Restate your topic and why it is important. 2. Restate your thesis/claim. 3. Address opposing viewpoints and explain why readers should align with your position. 4. Include a call for action or overview of future research possibilities. Your conclusion might be written differently depending on your research topic and paper style. You might opt to structure your conclusion based on specific types, and there are 3 primary types. 1. Summarizing conclusion. A summarizing conclusion is typically used for giving a clear summary of the main points of your topic and thesis. This is considered the most common form of conclusion, though some research papers may require a different style of conclusion. 2. Externalizing conclusion. An externalizing conclusion presents points or ideas that may not have been directly stated or relevant to the way you presented your research and thesis. However, these types of conclusions can be effective because they present new ideas that build off of the topic you initially presented in your research. 3. Editorial conclusion. In an editorial conclusion, you are presenting your own concluding ideas or commentary. This type of conclusion connects your thoughts to the research you present. You might state how you feel about outcomes, results, or the topic in general. An effective conclusion for a research paper reminds your readers of the strength and impact of your argument. Concluding statements can also help to refocus the reader's attention on the most important points and supporting evidence of your arguments or position that you presented in your research. Conclusions can also serve as a basis for continuing research, creating new ideas to resolve an issue you highlighted in your paper or offering new approaches to a topic. 1. An effective research paper conclusion. 2. Stresses the importance of your thesis statement. 3. Gives the research paper a sense of completeness. 4. Leaves a final impression on the reader. Next, how to write a conclusion for your research paper. 1. Restate your research topic. Your first step when writing your conclusion should be to restate your research topic. Typically, one sentence can be enough to restate the topic clearly, and you will want to explain why your topic is important. 2. Restate the thesis. Next, restate the thesis of your research paper. You can do this by revising the original thesis that you presented in the introduction of your paper. The thesis statement in your conclusion should be worded differently than what you wrote in your introduction. This element can also be effectively written in one sentence. 3. Summarize the main points of your research. Next, you can sum up the main points of your research paper. It's helpful to read through your paper a second time to pick out only the most relevant facts and arguments. You shouldn't need to include any more information than the main arguments or facts that you presented in your paper. The purpose of summarizing the key points is to remind the reader of the importance of the research topic. 4. Connect the significance or results of the main points. After discussing the main points of your argument, you can present the significance of these points. For instance, after stating the main points you made in your argument, you might discuss how the impacts of your topic affect a specific outcome. Likewise, you might present the results of studies or other findings that can help add emphasis to how you present the significance of your information. 5. Conclude your thoughts. As you finish up your conclusion, you might create a call to action or pose an idea that gets your readers thinking further about your argument. You might also use this sentence to address any questions that were left unanswered in the body paragraphs of your paper. Here are some helpful tips to keep in mind when you write your research paper conclusion. 1. Keep your thesis, main points, and summarizing facts clear and concise. 2. If you get overwhelmed, try sticking to a basic summarizing format for your conclusion. 3. Synthesize your information by providing questions and answers, results, suggestions, or a resolution to your arguments. 4. Include only the most relevant points and arguments you presented in your paper. You can also experiment with other conclusion styles. However, using the summarizing format can help you be certain that you are including each element as it relates to your paper. Here are some common pitfalls to avoid when writing a conclusion for a research paper. 1. Avoid beginning your conclusion with statements like, "in conclusion," or "in summary," as these basic statements can come across as redundant. 2. Do not include completely new information in your conclusion. 3. Don't wait until your conclusion to state your thesis. 4. Steer clear of rambling and be concise and straightforward as possible. Stick to the implications of your research rather than the methodologies and results of your studies, which should be in the body of your paper. 5. Resist the urge to apologize if you have doubts regarding your research paper. If you feel the need to address the weaknesses of the research, stick to discussing any limitations you faced. 6. Avoid being overly emotional rather than analytical in your conclusion. Don't forget like, share and subscribe my channel.